What's up, guys, and welcome to another weekly market update. This is Setup Saturday, the 38th episode. As always, I'm here with Zero Cool, our in-house trading expert. How are you?
In-house, I like the name. I'm pretty good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, good. So, sorry, guys, we are 30 minutes too late. I had some technical difficulties. I had to reinstall a couple of drivers. I restarted my PC like 3 times, so sorry about that. But we are here, we are live. If you guys are just tuning in, can you just maybe check if the stream is okay, if you can hear us, if there's no lag, and maybe if we're live in general, maybe that's something you can check. Zero Cool. But anyway, so let's dive right into it. So the first big news and basically why we dropped yesterday was the Trump tariffs. So basically Trump put exports 25%, tariffs, 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada and 10% tariffs on China. And they will go into effect today. And basically, if you look at the chart, I drew a line right here. You can see it a little bit easier on the 4-hour. So we jumped exactly when the news dropped. And I think it's a bit weird because everyone knew there were tariffs coming in. And so yeah, and we talked about a little bit before. Everyone knew the tariffs were coming in, but now, like he said, they're gonna be effective today. Well, so yesterday he said tomorrow, which is today, and the market still dropped on that news. And basically, the news was known for like the last couple of weeks. So to me, it's a little bit weird. We are recovering from it, but yeah, this is on this news we dropped. And unfortunately for Ethereum, because Ethereum was just making its move, boom, and then everything dropped again. So every time Ethereum tries to make its moves, the whole market is dumping on it.
Yeah.
So I see Rich Jedi is in chat. GM, my fellow Eat Disappointers. Thanks for commenting. So we know the stream is working. But yeah. So these were the tariffs. And basically my view on that is why it's a little bit bearish.
Noise.
But yeah, it's mostly noise. So, but why I think the market is dropping is just because people think, I don't know it's 100% correct, but more tariffs will lead to more inflation because obviously it costs more to import goods into the US, which makes the price more expensive, which basically is the definition of inflation when your goods are more expensive. So inflation will rise. And because inflation will rise, and I will talk about it later during the stream, the central bank will not cut their interest rates. And basically, this is like how the markets are working and why we saw the drop happening. Next, and I almost forgot it, but this happened on Monday as well. So the DeepSeek news. So everybody panicked of the Chinese AI for like 10 minutes, and then we went back up again. That was the whole story.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to go
Monday?
into super
Time
deep.
flies.
It was just Sunday evening, and you can see it on the chart as well. So this was Sunday evening. For some reason, everybody started to panic about this Sunday evening, and the DeepSeek AI also exists for like a couple of weeks or months. But I think on Sunday evening, it surpassed ChatGPT or something in the App Store, and it became super popular. So everybody started to panic. Why? Because they made an AI which uses a lot less NVIDIA chips than, for example, ChatGPT. Which is why NVIDIA dropped. NVIDIA, the biggest stock in the stock market, dragged everything down, and so Bitcoin went down as well. To me, it was super noise. We already saw on Monday NVIDIA going back up, Bitcoin going back up. You see it right here, Monday already going back up. We were going for the all-time high, but then the tariffs were implemented. To be honest, this is noise to me. I'm also not 100% sure that what DeepSeek is saying is true, that they use less chips, because I saw a lot of things.
China.
Yeah, it's China. But so yeah, this is some noise as well, some minor price action. But so now let's go over to the important things. And we saw a lot of things happening on the interest rates all over the world. So the first one is the Bank of Canada cuts their interest rates by 25 basis points to 3%. This was expected, but they also announced, and you see it here, the end of quantitative tightening, which is very good. And apparently, they will gradually restart asset purchases early March. I'm sorry.
Early March, yeah.
Yeah, early March.
Maybe accelerated now with the tariffs.
Yeah, exactly. Because, and this is basically the title, unclear with tariffs. So maybe they will even accelerate it. Because this was the 29th and the tariffs were announced yesterday. So, and then next up, so we saw it all over the world, the ECB as well. The ECB, they dropped as well by 25 basis points, which was expected as well. So that's why we didn't see a lot of price action going on. But
nobody cares about Europe.
Nobody cares about Europe. They only regulate things.
They stifle innovation.
But,
I'm afraid.
And then the most important thing, which is basically the most important monetary statement we had thus far in 2025, is that the Fed paused their rate cutting cycle. And I don't know if you can see it on the chart. I got it right here, actually. So basically, and it's always like that, we go down into FOMC, everything, S&P, gold, Bitcoin, up, the statement. And then during the FOMC presser, the price went up again. And why is that? And it's basically because Powell said we're seeing the economy move towards 2% inflation, which is very good. Because like I said before with the tariffs, when inflation is going down, the Fed will be able to cut their interest rates, which is good. But at the moment, they stopped cutting their rates. But yeah, I think it's not that big of a deal than most people think. And I commented on the Arthur Hayes article, and I can read it for you guys. So basically, high interest rates don't necessarily decrease liquidity. It may actually be a greater source of demand in the economy. Why? Because today, the world is super debt heavy, way more than before COVID. And so the governments have so much debt that when their interest rate bill goes up, it's basically a transfer payment to the private sector, potentially increasing global liquidity. This is a point we can discuss on, but it's something Michael Howell told me when I met him, that basically now when there's so much debt, so the old economic textbooks, they don't work anymore. And he sees a point when the interest rate stays high, that eventually there will be more global liquidity into the system. But this is on the long term. On the short term, it's short-term bearish. And that's why Arthur Hayes thinks we will go to 70K for Bitcoin. I don't think this will happen, and I'll explain it as well a little bit later. But yeah, so going to 2% inflation is good. And of course, where can you see this the best is on Trueflation. So Trueflation, and basically Trueflation, why is this good? Because Trueflation has a 45-day lead on the actual BLS report. So the report where the government says their CPI. So if we see the drop on the next meeting, on the next BLS meeting, which is the 12th of March, we should see inflation dropping. And based on that, on the next FOMC meeting, maybe the Fed will cut their interest rates again. So this is something worth speculating about, but it's very good that we see it dropping already on Trueflation. And it's mostly because the foods and beverages, health, household and daily items, and clothing. But I also think the inflation is dropping also because of the oil, because Trump wants to drill. What does he say always? Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, drill.
Which lowers inflation as well.
Yep. This is a leading indicator, right? It's like 45 days before the actual data hits, which is, in crypto, there's not many leading indicators. They're all lagging. So this is an interesting one to look at because it can give you an indication where crypto is heading.
The only leading indicator for crypto, and it's good that you said it because I almost forgot it, is gold. And gold has a 3-month lead, mostly, on crypto. And at the moment, gold is sitting at an all-time high, which should be good for crypto in the long run. But yeah, so at the moment, the resume is basically, and this is the press release, QT continues in the US. So the community will continue reducing its holdings of treasury securities and agency debt and agency mortgage-backed securities. So if we're being honest, this is not good in the short run. But like I said, in the long run, this will all resolve. And I think we will see global liquidity heading up. I even wrote it in the Discord a couple of days ago. So basically, Michael Howell said, based on these current monetary policies, global liquidity will still rise circa 5% in 2025, which is not a lot, but based on that, Bitcoin should already rise by 20%. And this is on current policies. I think policies will change later during the year. And
makes sense.
Placing it all together, so this is all the interest rates all over the world. So we see everything dropped. Bank of Japan, ECB dropped as well. The only Fed didn't drop. And of course, we saw Japan, but it was also priced in already. This was expected.
Canada and Japan are the same yellow for some reason in this chart.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's maybe the Discord's showing the colors a little bit funky.
It's a bit green, I think, but I've also a bit of.
For me, it's pure yellow.
I'm a bit colorblind, but not super hard. But to me, it's green.
Maybe have a color mode on, because for me, it's the exact same yellow. Anyway, regardless, it is interesting that Japan yet again raised their rates while everybody else is cutting. We've mentioned this before on the stream. I find this super interesting.
Yeah, they have problems the last 20 years, so it's normal. They have to basically fight for, how do you say it? Well, I forgot the word, the antonym of inflation. Deflation. Whoa. So yeah, and then the only good thing that he said during the presser, and you talked about it on Discord, I don't know if it was private or public, but the good thing was that Powell said banks are perfectly able to serve crypto customers, and I think it's related to the SEP 121. I don't think it's something new. I think it's the executive order, the SEP 121 we talked about last week. I will show you guys the video because it's still super good for crypto in general.
Our role with Bitcoin really is to look at, with crypto, really is to look at the banks, and you know, we think it's, you know, banks are perfectly able to serve crypto customers as long as they understand and can manage the risks, and it's safe and sound. As a good number of our banks that we regulate and supervise do that. You know, the threshold has been a little higher for banks engaging in our role.
Yeah, so this is good in my eyes. But yeah, so this was everything about inflation, interest rates, and now, of course, this leads to global liquidity. We posted it already in Discord on Tuesday, but global liquidity is on the rise again. So global liquidity rose by 327 billion last week, and is currently sitting at 173 trillion US dollars, which is good. So basically, the central bank liquidity has recovered, the collateral values are picking up, and bond market volatility has edged lower. As always, the most important thing is that the US dollar continues to weaken, which was needed for global liquidity to pick up again. I always see a lot of discussions on Twitter, even in our own Discord, which is saying, yeah, this is not a good indicator. To me, this is the only indicator you can use to make your investment decisions, especially in Bitcoin. This is the best indicator to know where the asset market is going, but you need to know how to use it. And basically, if we're just looking at Bitcoin in general, there is a 13-week lag. So global liquidity moves, and 13 weeks after, we see the Bitcoin price moving as well. Of course, other factors also affect the Bitcoin price, but it's very clear. You see in recent years that global liquidity and Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is the most sensitive asset on the planet in shifts to global liquidity. It's super clear. Even Lynn Alden made a research report in it saying when global liquidity goes up or down, so the directional movements, 83% of the chances of the times, Bitcoin moves in the same direction. And this is the most sensitive asset to global liquidity on the planet. And you can just see it here with the 13-week lag. Normally, and unfortunately, because global liquidity went down these last few months. Bitcoin should be trending lower at the moment and then back up. Why do I think we won't see this? Because this 30% drop aligns with what Arthur Hayes is saying as well, that Bitcoin should go towards 70, 80K. Why don't I see this happening? Maybe that was not good English, but why don't I see this happening is because of all the nationwide adoption. For example, this was yesterday or the day before, the Czech National Bank approves proposal to analyze Bitcoin investment plans. And so this got approved. And I think nation states will follow these coming weeks to months, that there will be so much buying pressure into Bitcoin that global liquidity is a little bit less important. Of course, it's super important when there is more money, more liquidity into the system, especially excess liquidity. Of course, this will move the Bitcoin price and the stocks. But when you got nations buying Bitcoin, yeah, of course, this is super important as well.
What I think the reason Bitcoin is going up while global liquidity has been ticking down is because there's new players, big players, ETFs buying everything up, right? I think without the ETFs, we probably wouldn't be trading above 100K.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And especially the 100K we got because the US, which is the world reserve currency, which is the financial power of the world, is pro-crypto at the moment. So this is also super important. Maybe more important than global liquidity. If
If I understand correctly, the lag between global liquidity and Bitcoin, because this is Bitcoin plotted every 6 weeks, right?
Yeah. Just to filter
the difference.
Out the noise.
Yeah, to filter out the noise. The time between the lag is shrinking, right, over time?
It should be, yes. And yeah, this was something me and Michael Howell discussed. Before, the time was a lot longer, because of course a lot of Bitcoin analysts didn't really know about this metric. And now people see the correlation and are starting to use it more and more. And of course, if every analyst uses this metric and will prepare beforehand, of course, this will shrink and shrink and shrink.
Yeah. Well, most analysts still use M2, which is completely wrong, but...
Well, not completely. It's about, what is it, 40% of global liquidity? So it works as well, but it's not the full picture.
Yeah, and this can be used to not exit Pico top, but this can be it's time to scale out moment. And I think there's one more leg in it, in crypto in general. And whether it be 150K or 1 million, I don't know where the leg is going, but I think there's one more leg this year. Maybe it ends in March, April, maybe it ends in November, December. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
But after that, I think we're going to be in a period of chop and down. And I think you need to be ready for that. Because I saw a really good tweet today from Poseidon that if this is what a bull market feels like, where everybody is in despair and sad about, just read the timeline about Ethereum, everybody's absolutely upset about it, which understandably so, but that this is in a peak bull market or almost peak bull market. What is it going to be in a bear market?
I don't 100% agree with it, because I just think in general we will see less volatility, both towards the upside and towards the downside. Well, that is if you're just holding the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. If you're holding, I don't know, your altcoin flavor of the week, then of course they will just die in the bear markets. But if you...
Zero Boro, whatever, minus 70, 80%.
90.
Absolutely slaughter, and this is a bull market. But times have changed.
So yeah, just one more thing about the global liquidity, like Zero Cool just said, this is not an indicator to day trade on. This indicator you use to make the big swings. It's like a swing trade strategy. So you buy or sell once every couple of months. This is not something you use to, I'm gonna buy today or not. No, just relax. But yeah, so trading wise, let's go to our what did I say? In-house trading experts, Zero Cool, who will go over the technical analysis of Bitcoin.
We'll start super high time frame. I'll leave my little range boxes on it. We had a super bullish close, I think, on the monthly. We swept the low of December, close way higher. close above 100,000, first time in history, very bullish. So yeah, monthly time frame, this looks bullish, right? Logarithmic on, this looks bullish. If we go a little deeper, we're still in a range, and we keep projecting at 106. Seems to be a tough nut to crack. Logically, my first instinct is that we will go lower and we will test, I think, 90K again. If we drill down deeper, then the range that I have starts to make a little more sense, because if you go on super high time frame, there's just random boxes in the middle of a candle. Yeah, we rejected again, right? It's like one giant deviation. And trending down towards here and visiting this is likely the next move we're gonna see. But it's weekend, low volatility, anything can happen. We saw ETH go for it yesterday, gets absolutely denied again. It's still up a little bit more than Bitcoin, but yeah, it's not looking too good, I think. I'm shifting toward a little more ranging instead of breaking out. Was I bullish at over here with like everybody else? Well, ETH was giga chat pumping. Absolutely, I was ready for 150K as well, but it didn't happen. We got rejected again. So you adjust. It's weekend, low volatility. Anything can happen. I don't expect any major headlines that move the market. But then again, a black swan event you never see coming, right? So little less bullish than last week, I think. And now for entries, let's clean up the drawings that I just made. I think you wait a bit. I'm less bullish, but I'm still bullish. You want to still fish for entries, I think, and then that would be a retest of like sub 100K over here, like a wick down here. And if that doesn't hold, down into 93, I think, and then you can start looking for entries between 93 and 90. And be cautious that we don't super giga nuke, like don't 100% blinds put a bit over here. Have some room for lower. We'll see. It's Chop City, and we've always said in the streams we need Bitcoin to chop before Alt and ETH can run. Maybe this is a chop finally. I think altcoins like Solana and ETH are more favorable to trade at the moment than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pretty dull, and
I'll go over my tweet I put out yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. Why I think it's a better time for altcoins than Bitcoin at the moment.
This is 2 weeks in a 10% range. 10% is not too bad, but 2 weeks of like sideways chop basically. You can go over your tweet. Let's go.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys saw it already, but basically I think altcoins are in a much better spot than Bitcoin at the moment. So why? And I go over it real quick. So basically and we talked about this last week, the USA will potentially launch a digital asset stockpile and maybe not a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which is super good for altcoins, because if the altcoins go in the US reserve, this will get crazy then. So one, this is the first and most important thing. Second thing, like I just said, global liquidity is picking up again, which is better for altcoins, because the more excess liquidity, the more riskier you go down the risk curve. Seasonality, and I will go over seasonality in just a second. But basically, if you just follow the halving cycle theory, which most people believe in, because they don't believe in the global liquidity cycle, they mostly believe in the cycle of the Bitcoin halving. And basically from January to May, after the Bitcoin halving, that's normally the prime window where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. The pro-crypto legislation coming to the US, which is super important for altcoins. Also because of this, I think we will see a lot more crypto native IPOs. We didn't saw this yet. And I think when a lot of crypto companies will start to IPO in the US, this will start the massive bull run, in my opinion. We saw this with the Coinbase IPO, when was it? In April 2021. And I
Which
think
marked the absolute Pico top, by the way. The
Yeah,
day it listed was
it-
top of ETH or BTC, one of the two, I don't remember.
it marked the top, but because of that, we had the whole run up towards it, the speculation towards
It's
it,
true.
and that's something we need. I'm pretty sure Kraken will do their IPO, but there's a lot of crypto companies who were afraid to IPO in the previous administration, and I think they will IPO in 2025. And then, of course, based on that, on the legislation, is the altcoin ETFs are coming, and the most
Which we've already
important one
seen the
is-
filings.
Yeah, and the most important one is the ETH staking ETF. So yeah, and then you guys can check my tweet if you're interested. It's at Jack Green Crypto on Twitter. But basically, based on that, and based on that, there are 36 million crypto coins today. I basically gave my my crypto buys what I think is worth buying. So then, like I said here, the seasonality. And I think you posted a really good
Yeah.
tweet about this yesterday. The only thing I didn't like about is, I don't know where it is, but it was only others, which didn't include Ethereum, if I'm correct. Or maybe this was another thing that I
There's
saw.
no, this is others is basically everything except Bitcoin.
I thought so too, but or maybe it was another chart that I saw which didn't include the top 10 cryptos. But it's maybe not this one.
The second post is others versus Bitcoin, which is also an interesting statistic.
Yeah. So yeah, this one is, that's what I wanted to say. The other one is more important, but so this is only others, which doesn't really give you something. It only shows that the first half of the year, altcoins generally against the USD pair perform well. But the most important thing is for everyone, I think Altseason is when altcoins perform better than Bitcoin. We don't care so much when it outperforms against USD. For me, then I look at global liquidity, for example, to know if I'm gonna buy or gonna be in dollars. But so the most important one is others versus Bitcoin, because that's really the alt season. And as you can see here, it's also as well in the first half of the year. And normally it's more from January to February. From January to March. This is the prime window, and it's super difficult for me to see. So I opened the research report that I dropped in the Discord, and we talked about this last month as well. For me, this one is a bit clearer. Let me zoom in this one. And here as well, he's saying alt season is from January to, it says May. Okay, so
Yeah.
I saw other ones that say January to March is the most important one, but okay, here it's January to May. And you can see it's super clear here. From January to May, it's all green for Ethereum against Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So,
and go right ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, so this is the most important reason why I think altcoins will outperform.
Yeah, for me, and an interesting one is the others versus Bitcoin. February was pretty flat. And for me, an alt season starts, or especially for Ethereum, which I think is a leading indicator for an actual alt season, is when Bitcoin goes up, it drags up the entire market, Bitcoin tops, and the alts keep going. So what I see from this, or this indicator here, the others versus Bitcoin, is that February we will have Bitcoin go up and alts will go up, follow, and then trickling into March, alts will keep going while Bitcoin chops. At the moment, we've been chopping for like 2-3 months already again. That's not really an indicator for me that also like, oh, now we're going to go off the chains and pump super hard. So I kind of want to see Bitcoin put in a new high first before Ethereum starts cracking higher. And that could probably lead into Ethereum goes to 4K with Bitcoin going to a new all-time high. And then once Bitcoin chills at a new all-time high, then Ethereum cracks 4K and goes higher.
We have Rage Data in chat saying, how is the president chilling? US alt reserve, corporation ETFs, etc. Most bullish news you can have, yet alts are down only. Not exactly bull market behavior. Yeah, and I think the most prominent reason is, and we said it last week, because there are just 50,000 shitcoins created every single day. In total, there are 36 million crypto coins which exist, and it's just fragmenting the liquidity. The liquidity is everywhere. So that's why it feels like not really anything is moving, because the liquidity is just everywhere. And I think this is the most important one. And the second one is, and last alt season, interest rates were at zero. Global liquidity was pumping into the markets. Every government was printing dollars like crazy. So
you have stimmy checks for like $1,200 every couple of months.
Yeah,
like
that's something
people
you need
buy
to take
food
into
with
account.
that, or they gamble with that, right?
Yeah, that's just something you need to take into account. We're in a different macro environment than 4 years ago. And then if you look at 2017, 2018, it was also different. There we didn't see the big liquidity pumps, but crypto was just in its baby shoes. So everything pumped because there were only like 2,000 coins. So it's normal. And it was gaining more and more hype, and there were only 3,000 coins. So everyone was buying the same coins, and it's normal they went up. So it's a whole different environment. And like I said last week, it's super difficult to buy the winners. But yeah, so be it. It will even be more difficult the next 4 years. So make sure you make some more money now.
And that's why this bull market feels so bad, because you either need to play the rotation game perfectly, which is almost impossible, or you need to have several winners that do hundreds percent, like Toshi did like a 2,000% move, I think, last week, or like into 2 weeks. If you don't ride that, you don't feel you're going to be winning. And that's probably why.
Yeah. But so yeah, like I said, the altcoin ETFs, this is very good. And yesterday, I think, we saw Bitwise, Bitcoin, and Ethereum ETFs clears first SEC hurdle. And this is good, in my opinion, for Ethereum, because a combo ETF, I think more people will buy the combo ETF than only the Ethereum. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and that's why I think Ethereum rised a little bit yesterday on this news. Well, not on this news alone. The more important news was BlackRock buying ETH. The president was buying ETH again. Yeah, and of course, this is just an added bonus.
And some overlooked news, I think, is that Kraken reinstated staking for American customers, which for me indicates that the ETH staking ETF, so that they can stake the ETH they bought with the ETF, is closer by than people think. Like, I'm talking weeks instead of months.
Yeah, I think it's moving fast, and that's something Joe Lobin said. That it's going to be greenlit soon. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is, so if you look at my coins I wanted to buy, Link is everywhere. And another thing I didn't add to this, but because the news just launched a couple of days ago, and which is also super important, is that Hong Kong SFC grants first crypto license of 2025. And if you look closer, the only coins that are allowed to be traded are Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVAX, and Chainlink is there in the slope. So their partnerships team, or I don't know who's getting this done, is doing very good work, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. And then another market that's probably going to boom and Link kind of falls under it is RWAs, right?
Yep.
I think Larry Fink went on one other show and was saying, we're going to tokenize everything into the future.
Yep.
And then you have stuff like Ondo, just like pop 10-20% on that news.
All right, that's it from me, Zero Cool. What do you want to discuss?
I think I had a single tweet open, yes, from the same person, Aporia. Absolutely an account you should follow. People say there's no alpha on crypto Twitter anymore. There is, but you just need to follow the right people. And Aporia is absolutely somebody who posts stuff you don't see your calls with 200 million followers post at all. And basically it is Bitcoin dominance. A little bigger. You have Bitcoin dominance orange line that everybody knows and tracks, but you have Bitcoin dominance excluding the stable coins, which rightfully so is the real Bitcoin dominance because the stable coins just keep growing. If you print more and more stable coins, by default, Bitcoin dominance is going to shrink without the crypto market moving one way or another. So you need to exclude those. And
I do think the more stable coins we see into the system, the better it is for altcoins. But of course, you need to exclude them.
Yeah. I think the point he or she, I actually don't know, is trying to make is previously there was little lag between, or like little difference between your Bitcoin dominance and your Bitcoin dominance without stables. Now we have a bigger gap. That's the first thing. And second thing is everybody's saying, it's going back to 60, 65. It already went to 65 if you exclude. So for me, kind of indicates Bitcoin dominance top has been in and alts have more breathing room, which overlaps with seasonality, which overlaps with the ETF news of the altcoin ETFs and ETF staking on ETH, or ETH staking from the ETFs. What I would like is that ETH can go up for a week without coming down. Because everybody gets super hyped at above the yearly open and then it just gets smacked down over and over. I think there's let me quickly open up a chart here.
I think the only thing we need is BlackRock filing for the staking ETF. I don't think we saw it happening yet.
I think we've touched on this before. You have 2 times of capitulation where people give up and sell. You have price capitulation where you have a major candle down. Like here. Let's see what this candle is. This is a 20% candle in a day, or in 4 hours. Absolutely brutal. This forces people to sell. People give up, they sell. And this is price-based capitulation. Another type of capitulation is time-based capitulation, which we saw here. I'll put the time metric on your date range. This was basically, you can do it here. It's 36 days of pure chop where the price just slushes around. And the longer you hold this, the more you're inclined or feel like you need to sell, because it just kept smack down, smack down, smack down, smack down. If you're here, and I know how it feels because I absolutely close my longs here, I think. Pico bottom, I close them here. And then I hop back in here, I think. Regardless. This is the time-based capitulation where the price does nothing. It shops around like we had 8 months of Bitcoin and people start losing courage. People stop believing and they just sell. Not because the price isn't good, because the price isn't doing anything and they think, I'm going to chase another asset, or, this isn't moving anywhere. It's just going to go like slowly down and drift down endlessly. You're conditioned to believe one thing and then the market does an absolute other thing. This might have been, this was the called ETF candle, I think. ETF announcement candles. And yeah, I feel we're doing the exact same thing here, where we're just sloshing around, not doing much, and people are getting bored, people are losing hope, people are hating on ETH because it's underperforming. If you look at ETH BTC, I hate to open the chart because all my drawings have been invalidated already. Like we were talking about, this is my range high, this is my range low, this is at least like 50% down already. This is absolutely painful to watch. I don't think TP1 should be 0.06 anymore. I think you can probably move this down to like 20% lower. Like this. Oh my. This is not the easiest thing to do. Okay, TP1. We have a new TP1, guys. I'll draw a little box here like this. So your new TP1. But yeah, down only people are hating on ETH. I think the redemption rally is coming. But I'm gonna stop saying, this is the bottom for ETH. My box here is already invalidated. I bought more ETH down. I bought more ETH down here, but my initial buying was like below 0.4, right? Like this is where I bought, and down only. So yeah, this is a sort of a form of price-based capitulation against Bitcoin. And if you zoom out on the monthly, this hasn't done anything in 2 years, right? Like here, this is just a 2-year window of slushing around. So I think the day will come that this pumps. It wasn't yesterday apparently, but we'll see.
It was trying, and I have the chart open on my screen. And so, yeah, you see this monthly inversely head and shoulders, which is about to break out, and it tried yesterday. So we have this descending wedge, which should break out towards the upside. We tried yesterday. It closed back into the wedge, and yeah, eventually it will break out. The setup is there, and the Tenkan will cross the Kijun above the cloud, which will be super bullish. So we will see the breakout. Tenkan will cross the Kijun above the cloud. We will go towards 4K. If we go towards 4K, there will be a lot of hype. It will probably also be news-based with the ETFs. So we will have a lot of volume. If we have a lot of volume on the 4K breakout, we will play out this inversely head and shoulders, which, like I wrote down, has like a 70 to 80% success rate. And then I think we see Ethereum moving towards 6K. And
yeah, I think the sensible thing to do is stop trying to buy the bottom, stop torturing yourself with Ethereum, just buy the break of 4K if there is big volume on it. And if it lines up with the staking news of the ETFs, it will have a lot of volume. Now, I say that. Will I do that? Absolutely not. I am in like 3 different Ethereum longs. I'm torturing myself over here. But yeah, sky's the limit with ETH. Eventually, one day, hopefully.
Let's see. Let's wrap it up, Zero Cool, and do our predictions.
Yeah. I thought there was one more thing that I wanted to touch on with ETH, just like with Bitcoin in general. If you have a target set, let's say, here we're targeting 5.8K, and you start to size up and you have a good entry, and you see the 4K break, and you start looking at your unrealized profit and loss, and you see that ticking up and up and up to a point where you become like nauseous from the amount of money you're gonna make if you hit your target, or already am at like an amount of money that is, I don't know, we're not talking monthly wages, but like yearly wages. You need to weigh in the benefits of like selling now and holding until your target, right? Because the way I lose the most money, and lose is a wrong wording, I think. How I miss out on the most money is I set a target. The trade eventually goes that way, and I close earlier than my target because I start looking at my profit and loss, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. I should just close now. And then I miss out on another 20 or 30% more that I could have made just by not looking at my profit and loss, my unrealized profit and loss. So there's some features that you can use on the third-party websites to hide your profit and loss and make it percentage-based, and that helps with that.
Yep, you wrote
nice.
You wrote a thing about that in our Discord yesterday, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So for the people that are still watching, we have a free Discord. You can just join it. The link is in the description. Normally you have to make an account from PrimeXBT to enter the Discord, but if you guys really don't want to do that, just go into the Discord, create a support ticket, and just say, hi, I want to join or something like that, and I will just let you in. Don't worry about that. Basically, we just put that feature in the Discord to prevent spammers mostly. So
barrier, yeah.
Yeah. So just leave me a message and I'll just let you in. All right. Let's do the predictions of this week. So looks like we were both bullish last week. So but mine was luckily a little bit under yours. So that makes it 14-11. All right. So yeah, a lot happened. Not super clear if everything was bullish or bearish. I think we will just I'm gonna put it right here. 104.
I'll put 106. I am less bullish than before, but still bullish. I do think if there wasn't any tariffs, the market would have trended higher and started like the next leg up, maybe.
Yeah.
There's probably
It
a
was doing it.
catalyst that starts. There's probably a catalyst that starts this run to 120s, right? So
I think the price on the tariffs we will most likely see on Monday what the stocks are doing, and based on that, Bitcoin will just follow.
it'll probably be Sunday nights, 10 minutes before the pre-market of the stocks open. They'll be like, those tariffs, yeah, never mind, we're not gonna do them. Scrap them.
All right, so this is it for us. So everyone, thank you for watching, and yeah, please leave a like, leave a comment, and we'll see you all next week.